The movie I chose for this week is the neo-noir masterpiece from the 90s called Romeo is Bleeding. The film stars Gary Oldman, Juliette Lewis, Roy Schneider, Annabelle Sciorra, Michael Wincott, and the very beautiful Lena Olin.
Pardon me if you can. Movie reviews.
Corrupt cop Jack Grimaldi is cheating on his beautiful wife Natalie Annabelle Sciorra with a younger woman Sherry played by Juliette Lewis. Jack gives up information on informants to the mob for large cash payments, causing the death of police officers protecting them. The next informant he is assigned to give up information on is the Queen of Queens, Mona Demarkov, a rising upstart in the underworld. When Jack confronts Mona, he finds that she is a powerful femme fatale and falls into a quicksand of seduction and revenge. The film was directed by veteran filmmaker Peter Medic and was written by Hilary Hennon. Gary Oldman's performance as Jack Grimaldi is absolutely sublime. The voiceover narration is so spot on, straight from the Hollywood classics. Gary Oldman brings so much intense detail to his work, I think he's an all-time great. Jack Grimaldi's corruption and ego is always wanting more and more. A huge appetite for sex and wealth that can never be satisfied, and ultimately it consumes him. Mona Demarkov is a manifestation of both Jack's sexual hunger and greed, a monster that wields both sex and money to destroy and conquer her environment. Mona Demarkov, played by Lena Olin, is the ultimate femme fatale, and holy shit, this is one of the sexiest performances I have ever seen on screen. She is so savage and seductive that she destroys almost everyone in this movie, and there is nothing that will stop her. She is a beast, willing to sacrifice even a limb to get what she wants. Mona's laugh is also so haunting, like it just stays with you for weeks. Every scene she was in, I had no idea what she was going to do. She just seems so animalistic. Roy Schneider plays Don Falcone, the suave, well-educated crime boss. When Falcone comes into the film, it's like we're thrown into a different world. Although there is a sense of control and order to his kingdom, there is a feeling of the monsters seeping in, that suddenly we are in the presence of the past, and the collision of both the savage and brutal modern world of Mona Demarkov and the old world of Falcone are headed to an ending of inevitable doom. It was great seeing Michael Wincott in this as well, one of my favourite actors as a chain-smoking gangster. We also have Dennis Farina as this grotesque gangster eating spaghetti. And also there's Ron Perlman in this as well, very briefly at the end. He's one of my favourite actors. This was also shot by one of the greatest DOPs in the world, Dariusz Wolski. This is, I think, his first major film. And this film, Romeo's Bleeding, was also edited by one of the greatest editors in Hollywood, Walter Murch. So this is Hollywood's finest craftsman behind it. I found Romeo is Bleeding to be a very frustrating film. The film sacrificed story and plot in favor to become a surreal noir, and it delves into the emotional and the bizarre, and it becomes much more of a nightmare. And I found that I was way too invested in the story itself to see it just all melt away in favor of becoming this surreal noir. The ending, though, does pack one hell of a punch. Best line of the movie, and there is a lot of them: people think that hell is fire and brimstone and the devil poking you in the butt with a pitchfork, but it's not. Hell is when you should have walked away, but you didn't. And the other line: you don't own love, love owns you. Interesting fact, John Bon Jovi actually was assigned to write a song for this movie called Romeo is Bleeding, and when he finally saw a draft of the film, he hated it so much he refused to have the song play in the film. That song was Always, which became John Bon Jovi's greatest hit, so that's pretty interesting. That song was written for this movie. Romeo is Bleeding, I think, is an incredible noir masterpiece from the 90s, an absolute masterpiece. movies that merits heavy discussion to this day. If you haven't seen Romeo is Bleeding, I highly recommend you check it out right away. Despite my issues with it, it's an incredible film.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Check out our podcast at www.podmeifyoucan.com.